Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Established Run's NBA Injury Report Analysis Show. I'm Drew Dinkmeyer here with Mike Gallagher to walk you through tonight's two-game slate. A two-game slate doesn't feature a lot on the injury report, but involves the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks. So we have a lot to talk about. As always, to do it with me, Mike Gallagher. Mike, how are you after a big weekend of basketball?
Doing good. Yeah, a lot of basketball. Some good reads, some not great reads overall. A bit of a losing weekend after going into the weekend really hot, but looking to get back on track today. But yeah, the shady injury report bowl with my Milwaukee Miami. Clippers are tomorrow for the Western Conference.
They're on deck. Let's start with Milwaukee and Miami. On the Miami side, we have a probable tag for Bam Adebayo with left hamstring issue. They're without Tyler Hero, Victor Oladipo, Nikola Jovic, and then a questionable tag with Jimmy Butler. The gluteus bruise for Jimmy Butler. He butt hurt. What's your thoughts on Jimmy Butler's availability and the Bam Adebayo probable tag for the Heat tonight?
Yeah, putting the butt in Butler for Jimmy, but sounds like he's going to be good, right? Went through practice yesterday without a limp, according to Anthony Chang, who covers the team. There's a video that just came out for Shooter. I'm going to watch that in a second here, but seems like he's in. Obviously, we could talk about if he's out, but we get to Bam. Probable hamstring. That rubs me the wrong way, right? I mean, hamstrings are legit, so I won't be surprised if you get to downgrade or something like that, but that's usually a Q tag going on something like that. So maybe it's a gamesmanship. We saw the Giannis doubtful to questionable. Maybe they're fooling around. So I've got my eye on that injury, but and Lowry should be good to go. We saw him play really, really well. He's been pretty good per possession as well. But yeah, I guess if you want to talk through, should we talk through Jimmy being out? I would expect Caleb Martin to certainly start there. They would pick up maybe not actually. They're going to need some offense, but I still think Caleb would be the starter. Do you have any? And obviously, it would be a huge Max Strus offensive responsibility. Do you think that Caleb would start if Jimmy's out?
Yeah, but they're running thin on guys. If Jimmy were out, in terms of playmaking on this team, no Tyler Hero. If Jimmy were out, no Jimmy Butler, no Victor Oladipo. You're starting to get pretty deep into where is the playmaking, where is the offense coming from. I think under that scenario, you could maybe even see a couple, like multiple switches. You could see Kyle Lowry maybe get back into the starting lineup over Gabe Vincent for something like that, just to find ways to create more offense. But yeah, obviously they went back to Kevin Love last game after Duncan Robinson the game before. Duncan was really good in this one. He could be a candidate as well. They just would need ways to generate offense. The problem is if you're going to go out there and put like Kevin Love and Duncan Robinson, something like that in the starting lineup, then how do you stop? How do you stop? Giannis in transition or anything, which is a tall task anyway, but not a lot of good options is basically what I would say to replicate what they get from Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, the offensive side's more difficult than the defensive side. It's been pretty much Jimmy and Caleb handling the Drew assignment for all the Drew minutes. So that would be my lean, and then just pray for Gabe and Strus. Even run some stuff through Love, assuming Bam can go. Bam will be really busy. Facilitating the offense too. So, but again, expecting him to play. I don't know if we want to talk about the Bam thing.
I don't think. I think the probable tag is probably likely good. I don't think we need to worry too much about that. But I did see a tweet asking. I think it was Ira Winderman who had an article that I have not read yet that asked if like Haywood Highsmith was the next man up in the absence of Victor Oladipo. So Oladipo's been playing minutes in this series like regularly. Do you think that it seems like Duncan Robinson now has a very solidified role in the series? Do you think that Haywood Highsmith is next man in the rotation for the Heat if they choose to expand the rotation in the absence of Victor Oladipo?
I mean, that makes sense, right? You're talking about on-ball defense. They like him in that role. Definitely could see him coming in, or they could condense things. We know even during the regular season, Spoelstra's okay going even 7. So I would lean, Lowry's minutes being a little bit more secure. Gabe probably a little bit more secure as well. Strus should play a bunch after really kind of going away in the last game because the bench was so good. Namely Duncan. Duncan and Strus are really related. How their minutes are going to be fit, but yeah, I think Highsmith would probably be the next guy, and I'll be looking at our minutes after the show. But we probably should throw him a few.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the Milwaukee side of things. Giannis reportedly at shoot around today. He's listed as questionable with that lower back contusion. Wesley Matthews still out with the right calf strain. We both thought there was a chance Giannis was back for game 2. We thought it was more likely than not he'd be back for game 3. So I'm guessing we're both going to think he's pretty likely back. That's the Shams report today. What are your thoughts on Giannis's potential return?
Yeah, it should be back, right? Having close to a week to recover from this injury is usually a pretty good chance that he's back. So expect him back. Not an injury that needs a ramp up. It's not a muscle pull or something along those lines. So if he's feeling good, he'll probably play a lot. Can this affect his play? Of course. He's going to be guarded by Bam. We saw Bam do a pretty good job on him in the 11-minute sample we saw before he went down. So I said this before, but illnesses and back injuries are really the toughest to read as far as how is he going to play, what kind of limitations is he going to have from a playing time standpoint, from an effectiveness standpoint. So pretty tough read, but getting the rule in early from Shams certainly a good sign. But yeah, it looks like looking at the jersey watch for shoot around, looks like it's going to still be Grayson Allen in the starting lineup. So that Drew, Grayson, Middleton, Giannis, Brook starting lineup should be in the mix. A little bit of Connaughton, a little bit of Jingles. Chrissy, if Jay Crowder goes away, he has been very good. Maybe jump on Carr's minutes get cut down, but I think they need this game. So things could be pretty condensed. We see a 40 out of Drew or something along those lines.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask from a rotation perspective. We talked through this a little bit on our podcast that we recorded that should be out before the games tonight, reviewing the weekend's action and previewing the rest of the way for some of these series that we expect to go deep, and this is one of them. Giannis's return, if they do want to go tight, we know the 6, right? We know Portis, Middleton, Lopez, Holiday, Allen, Giannis. 7, Connaughton seems like the guy. 8, Ingles seems like the guy to me now. And I think Connaughton has jumped Ingles. So I think there's a chance like Ingles could get cut down quite a bit as well. He shot the ball well in that one game that they all kind of shot the ball well. Did not shoot the ball well last game. He's not really having much of a playmaking role. They're not really using him to initiate offense very much because they've got Drew out there for so much. And I assume they'll have the same with Giannis. And so he's become like a spot up shooter and then defender. And honestly, Connaughton seems like a better fit for that role in terms of the defender side of the equation than Joe Ingles. So I think he's a little bit vulnerable as well. It's Mike Budenholzer. He's known for not going super tight in terms of playoff rotation. So we'll see if there's big changes here. But obviously, this is a huge turning point game. If they are to lose this and go down 3-1, all of a sudden a team that looked like the 1A championship contender needs to win 3 in a row just to get out of the first round.
Yeah, pretty dicey.
Okay, let's move to the Lakers and Memphis. On the Lakers side of things, probable tags for Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Dennis Schroeder. Don't think there's any concerns here. The Lakers have been pretty conservative on their listings all year long. Any notes you want to have for the Lakers side of things?
Nope. Yeah, should be good. Those are not new tags. They've had them pretty much listed all year, AD and LeBron. So yeah, obviously no back-to-backs in the playoffs, so expecting them to be full. Again, really no concern from that game 1 shoulder thing for AD and LeBron's been okay, not great. Yeah, not too much to add. But we talked about this on the pod that cast it should be out shortly. Just the Lakers role players, kind of stepping up, I thought was kind of key in the last game.
Yep, one very strong minute from Wenyen Gabriel as well. Let's move to the Memphis side. 3 players listed out, the same 3: Steven Adams, Brandon Clark, Jake LaRavia. Most notably, no John Morant on the injury report at all. He was listed questionable last game and did play and played very effectively. I took an under on his points that I only missed by like 24 or 22, something like that. I thought there would be limitations with the hand issue. I thought this was a game the Grizzlies would really struggle with. One of those 2 things was right. What are your thoughts on how Ja looked with kind of the hand wrapping and some of the issues? Because it looked at early on in the game like the dribbling going right was a little bit of a struggle. And then I turned back in later and he had 40. So what are your thoughts on Ja?
Yeah, I mean, the 22 straight point thing was wild. He looked awesome. And yeah, we talked about the really big point that they had to stick to his transition. That was his jam. 19 points in transition by himself. Almost got his over hit there. So yeah, he looked awesome. No limitations. Thought his shot looked pretty good. Had a lot of rhythm out there. Didn't skip a beat. So big props to him. Almost pulled a comeback after a bit. I saw one of my friends bet it live. The live line got to like in the first half. It was like plus 24.5. Shout out to my friend for hitting that. But yeah, should be good. I'm expecting really full minutes. We saw 42. Maybe you see even a little bit more here. They're playing a little bit tighter. So, but yeah, Ja looks good. Jaren been pretty bad the last 2 games. Crazy stat: 15 post-up points in game 1, 2, and 2 and 3 combined. So, need a better game on Jaren for sure.
Yeah, and we saw the elevated minutes for a lot of their main guys in the absence of Dylan Brooks, who was ejected for the flagrant 2. You saw Xavier Tillman 39, Ja 42, Desmond Bane still only 33 though. The Desmond Bane production is what we need if the Grizzlies are going to kind of make this a series. Him and Jaren need to provide some of that secondary offensive force behind Ja if they're really going to be able to score in the series. And those are guys that help them score in the half court, with shooting, and that's really where they've kind of lacked. Only 13 for 39 last game from 3. All right. Any other notes on the Grizz before we get out of here?
No, yeah, just need Bane to play better. Maybe Dylan Brooks maybe be quiet. But yeah, rotation should be pretty tight here. We'll see if Santi Aldama kind of goes away. I know you've been really critical of him, and he's earned it, criticism. Curious to see if maybe they shake things up another way, because maybe they lose those minutes. Maybe they run a little bit tighter. We know Jenkins has run 10 a lot. That's going to change in the playoffs. But yeah, I think things could get pretty condensed if things go well for them and no foul trouble and stuff.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see 2 teams that are down 2-1 tonight that have coaches that are less known for playing tight. But obviously, if you go down 3-1, things look really, really challenging. So it'll be interesting to see if they tighten things up today.
Both on the road too.
Yeah, exactly. Chris Smith piping in from chat. Thanks for watching, Chris, and thanks for tuning into that podcast. I tweeted earlier. But I did a very long interview with a couple of crypto guys in the NFT space that are really, really great dudes, and we just had a conversation about kind of DFS and the journey and stuff. But it's a big take, 2 hours. But thank you for tuning in and giving it a listen. As always, support the people who are supporting us. This show is brought to you by our friends at Underdog Fantasy. They have daily NBA snake drafts from running in many formats of NFL contests, still running for huge prizes. If you're playing NBA Pick'em, in-season subscribers can use our tool to compare ETR projections to their fantasy Pick'em games. And if you're not a subscriber, or if you're not signed up for Underdog yet, use promo code ETR for a matching deposit bonus up to $100. That's promo code ETR at underdogfantasy.com. We will have Justin Fan filling in for me on Friday from Underdog Fantasy. So, the good old boys will be reunited. I will be out gallivanting in South Florida doing wedding preparation stuff. But yeah, looking forward to getting Justin's great insight on here on Friday. And Mike Gallagher, you had an outrageous advance rate going on Underdog through the weekend. I think you were at something like
24 to 70 was my peak.
Something like just insane. I'm at like 21 of 150. So you being 24 of 70 is just crushing me.
Not going to hold though. I think I'm down to 17 now. It's still pretty good.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, it's a very interesting format, this playoff contest. Hopefully
a lot of Westbrook for me.
Hopefully people have some sweats in them. But I was very happy to see Minnesota extend the series a game last night. I needed more Anthony Edwards. He's my version of your Westbrook. I have a lot of Anthony Edwards. Awesome. But yeah, behind the paywall today, 5:00 Eastern time, myself and Gary Hartman will be breaking down this 2-game slate. So join us there. For those of you who have subscribed, yesterday seemed to be a really good day for people that followed what we've been talking about. Time Lord, finally, the Time Lord Martingale finally came through. So hopefully we'll have more takes like that. The good chalk, the bad chalk, the contrarian pivots, and of course the flag plants. Join us behind the paywall at 5:00 Eastern time today. There are plenty of subscription packages available Discounted price tag on the rest of season at establishedrun.com/subscribe/NBA. But we also have weekly and monthly packages. If you just want to check us out for a week and see what we're up to, we got Mike Gallagher's matchups column up there, the live shows, the projections, all the good stuff, and access, of course, to our Discord, where there's a lot of sharp NBA DFS players chatting about lineup construction and whatnot. So give us a shout over there. If you're uninterested in giving us your hard-earned dollars, we do ask for your hard-earned clicks. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, get notifications whenever we go live. And of course, smash that like button and feed that algorithm. You feed the algorithm. It helps feed our families. We keep feeding you the NBA injury information and analysis you need to know to make your DFS lineups, your prop bets, your spread bets. So make sure to smash that like button. Nom, 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 nom. We'll see you tomorrow.